Welcome back to Wellness by All Means live forum. Today we'll be interviewing or having a conversation with Mr. Ravi Desai, who happens to be a IT professional. For 15 years, he's been working in different IT projects. He was also in US for over 6 years, and very recently he moved back to India. Right now he's working in Pune. So he has been an active student with Wellness by All Means for many years, and also he has been practicing mindfulness, teaching mindfulness right now. He has a small group of meditators in his own town, and he is deep into the essentials of spirituality in our life. So it will be a wonderful conversation with Mr. Ravi Desai. Let's welcome Ravi. Hello, Ravi.
Namaste.
How are you?
Namaste, Guruji. Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much for taking interest in everything that you do, and it has been a wonderful journey with you. Particularly, like when we were in the Bay Area, we used to spend a lot of time exploring many different aspects of yoga, mindfulness, meditation, and you have been in this journey for quite some time right now. And let's go back to the origin. What attracted you? I remember you came to one of our booth a long time ago. I remember that it was in Fremont. I think you might have taken fire of meditation, and then suddenly I saw from my office you were just walking towards my office in the parking lot. So that's what memory is there. So after that you came, and then we talked about yoga. I did a lot of practice. So tell us, before that, what happened, what attracted you to the world of yoga and mindfulness?
Right. So I guess we spoke a little bit on International Yoga Day. The journey I had. So thank you for this opportunity. We'll elaborate a little over here. So I was in Bay Area, California, for almost 8 years, and it was a phenomenal journey. But while I say that, it took a tax on my body and mind. So when I was working in Bay Area projects, as Bay Area is pretty aggressive, in terms of the timelines, in terms of work pressure. So plus we know the Bay Area traffic. So all those aspects were starting, putting me into a little stress. And I guess this is one of the problems a lot of IT professionals face, that not being aware what is happening with the body and the mind. I tried to deal with physiotherapy, chiropractor, etc. So those things help, but I would say if it is related to your mind, if it is related to stress, you have to deal in that particular area in a very professional way. So I was in a continuous quest, or a search to deal with the issue and finding out a solution. And I would say, I guess that quest helped me to come to your place. So initially I would say I was a little skeptical, because that is the first time I was landing at some kind of yoga place. I tried Bikram yoga earlier, but not like a mindful practice. So I just thought, okay, let me walk in and talk about my issues, and let's see what help I can get. So that is the point where I came into the studio, and I would say after that it was never looking back. So I really
explored. Whenever you explained to me about the problems that you are going through, I think we determined that it is nothing but a psychosomatic problem, because it's a stress-induced problem, and I think that impressed you quite a bit. Okay, within just 5 minutes, if somebody could diagnose something like this and then going to the root cause, I think that created an impression about about the whole thing, how it will take shape from there, because the first impression lasts long. I believe the identification of that problem, which is a psychosomatic problem, not really deep rooted into something wrong with me, but it can be gone. Basically the stress has caused it, and then if you remove the stress from your mind, obviously all the symptoms also will go away slowly. So I think that convinced you, okay, why don't I practice? Then I think
right.
Convinced on
Right. So being for quite a while in Bay Area, I actually saw a generic pattern. The people I have come across in IT, So because so now we use a lot of our left brain, a lot of analytical skills, and you use the word root cause. So we guys do a lot of root cause and problem solving, things into our project.
Right.
And that is how exactly I was also dealing in my personal front. That what exactly is causing me, a tightness, the anxieties, and why I'm not able to work to my full potential. What is really stopping me? So that root cause led to me, to that place. But I guess more and more, people are getting stressed in this IT world. Everything is driven by, the knowledge economy. And as I was mentioning, like people, they're not aware that what is happening, the imbalances in the body, imbalances in the brain, mind. And I guess the yoga place helped me understanding the root cause. And that is where it all started, the U-turn from the not being aware to being mindful. That was the U-turn.
Right. I think you touched upon one of the key words that we always use, balance. Like, most of the time, if you go on any track, like, whatever that doing it, if you go on a long journey in one particular track and then without balancing yourself, you'll end up in a problem. Even good things also, out of balance will definitely cause some problem, and it causes the blockage. So yoga always talks about yoga samattam uchyate. Yoga is all about bringing balance to everything. So you do everything, particularly when you are in a grihastha ashram, when you have families, when you have children, when you have a job, when you have bills to pay. There's so many responsibilities that we take as grihasthas. Like, we are not like monks and then renounced everything and gone to the Himalayas and doing meditation. So as a grihastha, having a family, there are a lot of challenges that we deal with. So from that point of view, we always practice this simple concept what says Patanjali talks about, like sthiram sukham asanam. That means every practice that you do, like asana is just a metaphor. Every time that you be in life, always try to look for this sthiram, sthirata, like stability, and sukham, happiness and bliss. So if you find these two elements into your life, you'll definitely feel more in the journey, and then lace towards the fruits of that, the results of that, and that will take away a lot of this panic and a lot of this anxiety associated with that. So if you just focus on in the moment, here and now, and do everything that you're doing in a mindful way, that itself is a very simple mantra. But again, like, nothing is so simple because life has got a lot of attraction and distractions. So we always get derailed many times. So how has been your journey so far? From the mindfulness journey point of view, you have gone to many teachers, many masters. So, and you're also becoming a teacher right now, and then you're, creating a smaller group, and a lot of people are getting benefited from your practice and teachings also. So tell us a little bit more about that journey of life.
Right. So, first I will feel the gratitude about the problems I get, as, you told us, in some class. So without those problems, I would say I won't be, going so deep into the mindfulness aspect. So from 2016, I have been connected with wellness by all means. But apart from that, I have been following Sri Sri, Sadhguru. I have attended their, sessions in Bay Area, where Sadhguru had a presence to inaugurate the inner engineering book. And then Sri Sri was there for silence courses. So I went to many places to do this course and understood the, very basic concepts of spirituality. And the important concept which we had in our first conversation was Panchakosha, those 5 layers of existence. And, that was like, boom. I mean, when in the first session itself, you explained, who am I? From that, I guess I, more than fascinated, I thought, okay, I'm on the, right path. As you said, people are derailing, but I guess that was the turning point. From that point onwards, another thing is, like, even though we have a lot of YouTube material, we have so many masters, but what we lack is a local guru. I say that term because, let's say, I need to go to a guru and talk to him personally and, talk about the solutions. So that is one point. IT professionals, or I guess the people who are looking into this area, they have to find it out. So I took that as an inspiration, and I thought, okay, I will also continue the journey. So to my near and dear ones, from that point onwards, I started spreading this word. So we have a very nice group of like-minded people where we take some challenges, and in COVID-19 period, we really, instead of getting bogged down, we use that platform to uplift the mindsets. So as Shishi says, one of the best service you can do to the mankind is uplifting the minds of the people. So that's what I have been trying to do in a very little way. And it's helping my friends, my family members, as well as me.
I think it is very important because we all, fortunately come from Indian origin right now. Like even without that also, the human race is right now going through a rapid transformation. I always talk about the marriage between technology and spirituality. Like right now is the time of transition, a lot of transformation happening. That's why all these gurus, we talked about right now, I have taken classes from them as well. They are wonderful. They are creating such a huge platform right now because, that is where we have to take on. It's like passing on a baton, like it's a rally, because the source is same. I've already talked about Ekam Satyam, Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti. There is only one truth and all the masters say it differently. So if you look at Ashtavakra Gita, which you are fascinated right now, if you look at the substance itself, that identifies who we are. Like we are Vibhu, we are Atma, we are Satchidananda, we have got everything, right? So from that sentence itself, that we know that true identity is not this mere mortal, the body-mind complex. We are the soul. So from the soul's point of view, everything that happens in our life is just a journey because the soul wants to adventure. It can go through the fire, it can go through the prisons, it can go through a lot of troubles. Doesn't matter because it chooses a path of adventure to experience life from different point of view. So when we have more of this self-awareness about true identity in the Panchakosha, so from the body to bliss, so when we transcend from the Annamaya Kosha to the Anandamaya Kosha and then try to re-establish ourselves and change our address basically. So right now 99% of time we are residing in our physical body. But when we do practice of yoga, mindfulness, meditation, slowly our address will change one day. Then we'll be in Anandamaya Kosha, in the blissful self, and then we'll outsource everything to our body, to our mind, to our spirit, so that the life will be more smoother. That's why I think you also got impressed with one of the things I remember you reiterated to me. You got impressed with another sentence that we talked about in the personal consultation, that you are not buried, you are planted. I think that made a difference in your...
Absolutely. I mean, as I keep saying the U-turn, right? So I was like, at that point in time, very miserable. But in spirituality, I was planted. So there is a world of difference. Right. And it keeps bouncing back, the knowledge. And as you said, a lot of people, when we have all these modern gurus, they have little confusion, which guru to choose, and they also take a pride that which guru they are following. Yeah. But this knowledge which you just reiterated, like time and again, it is proved that the knowledge which I am hearing in Ashtavakra Gita, in inner engineering, it's all the same, it's all aligned. It is coming through just the different masters with a different style. Yeah. And that is about it. So I guess as a seeker, if we just be open-minded and have the true gratitude towards all these beautiful gurus, definitely the blessings will be showered, and it is showering on me. You can see that.
Right. And then also, when you talk about the gurus and then local guru, I think one analogy was coming to my mind. There is an ocean and there are many rivers that joining the ocean, right? So when a river is going through your village or your town, I think it's always a good point to take bath in that river, enjoy the river itself, right? It's a sweet water because ocean has its own beauty, the river has its own beauty. So when we take advantage of what are the local resources, because right now in COVID-19 pandemic situation, there are a lot of globalization happening. If you look at the industry, meditation industry, and all these different things, I'm using the word industry for lack of words. But those are all different platforms where the whole world is reunited right now. Like there will be millions of teachers talking about about the yoga, mindfulness, meditation, and all this. There you look at the YouTube, look at all the internet resources. There are millions and millions of different resources that you can get attracted.
Right.
And all those things are good because we all are working for the one CEO, period, right? We are all working for one CEO who is that universal God or the nature or the universe, whatever that higher power. We all are connected to that super soul. We are all part of that. So, slowly as we grow up in this line, less and less you'll think more competitive. More and more you'll feel more cooperative. Like, how can I make the same journey? What other teachers are doing, what other masters are doing? How can I be the candle and light up the area that I'm in? Right? I may not be the sun to light up the entire planet, having 300 millions of people. But whoever that comes across, if you take advantage of that moment and be grateful for that service opportunity that you're getting and serve that person, because through them only you're reaching out to your own higher self. So that conviction is happening more and more as you teach more to teachers, to people, that giving away things like sharing with people what we have, because this knowledge coming from our sages was an open source. Like they have given it without any copyright, without any price. So that has come to us freely. So I think more and more as teachers of mindfulness and yoga, we have to give it back to the world, because nothing will take away with us. Like all the resources that we generate here, it all remains here in the earth plane only. When we die, nothing will go with us. So what will go with us is our resources, is our helpfulness, is our helping somebody, empowering somebody's mind. As you said, empowering somebody's mind is the biggest blessing that we can give. We can give some money, but that's not enough. It's like giving somebody a fish to eat rather than teaching how to fish. So when you give a fish, just one day's problem is solved. But when you teach how to fish, the everyday's problem is solved.
Right.
So from that point of view, it makes a lot of sense for us right now to unite our minds together, unite our souls together, and then work towards a beautiful world where the greed factor is reduced. Isn't it? Like there's so much of damage has been done by greed. Look at the food adulteration, look at the environmental pollution, the global warming. So many things are happening. Look at how many trillions of dollars we spend every single day to resolve the conflicts in the name of war and all kind of conflicts, right? So when this spirituality and the yogic science of reuniting human minds, bring in more trust, more loyalty, more peace, more calmness, more serenity. That's the challenge to the people. That's why we have taken this journey in the Silicon Valley to make the Silicon Valley not only the epitome of the technology, but also it to be a healthful place. Like people are really healthy, people are happy, people are generous, people are thinking about the world. So that way we can create a wonderful world together, wherever we are. So global thinking and local acting is the norm right now, right? You have to have high thinking, but simple living also. Like just think about like in how we can make a cohort kind of thing, like in the place that you're in. So bring that culture into that place, and just like we said, we are not buried, but we are planted, and we have to bloom where we are planted. So I believe this experience that you are going through was a necessity for your soul to adventure, and I wish you that you keep blooming. Sometimes the flower doesn't bloom all the time. Sometimes the flower wither. That is also part of life. So we don't have to get worried about ups and downs in life, because that's another bud is coming, another beautiful flower is coming. So you have to keep blooming.
True.
Withering happens naturally. It's a law of nature. We don't have to worry about that. But blooming is our dharma, is our real duty. So keep shining in life, keep blooming. So tell me any last word that you would like to share to our audience?
Yeah, that's what I mean, like being in IT for such a long time, this mindfulness aspect, I guess it will help me as well as the broader audience who are listening to this particular session. Definitely, they will be able to enjoy the life, because right now the technology changes every 6 months and you don't have a confidence whether you are relevant or not. And there's so much of stresses, but with this aspect, you're always centered, you're always confident. So I would say bring the mindfulness, 10 minutes, 15 minutes into your daily life as you brush our teeth. and we will be able to enjoy more. Whatever we are earning, whatever we are spending, it will bring the true happiness. And
Right.
I guess I am taking that a mission, that I will try to help as many as I can. The money part will be secondary, but my objective will be, have the little place in Pune, a meditation studio, an extension to Wellness by All Means, and bring in more people so that they can also imbibe this aspect and enjoy the life. Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful vision, because even if you go back to IT industry, even if you do anything, that's one side of life. But the other side of life is like going inward, helping people out, spreading this word. That gives a deeper satisfaction, isn't it? And once you have already tasted this Amrit, this elixir of yoga and mindfulness, I think you will not go back. Right? You'll not go
Right.
back completely. You'll not be derailed at all. Like, sometimes derailing happens, but again, you'll know how to auto adjust yourself so that you put back again on the track, so that you are again, the train.
Right. Right,
So
right,
it was
right.
a wonderful time, talking to you, Ravi. We wish you all the best. I will see you back again in the Bay Area sometime soon. Maybe, something will bring you back so that we can work towards creating a platform where everybody gets benefit and brings balance, and they all will be blooming where they are. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time.
Okay.
And I will.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Manoj ji. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste. Bye.
Thank you.